round of applause to Puresonfleek. Yes, she's managed to create a very successful video, and everybody else is making videos on it. I'm not bitter. I'm not bitter that she's managed to create this successful video. Cheers! Welcome to my chit chat video. Before we get onto the chit chat, I invite you to subscribe if you haven't already. Whilst you're there, you can ding-a-ling my bell, which will remind you every time I upload a video. Okay, shall we get onto the chit chat? First of all, I am having a Prosecco, organic Prosecco from Aldi's. I think it was about £7–8 a bottle, and it's very nice. It's very nice indeed. You know, us women, we're supposed to be choosing organic wines. There's something about organic wines being much better for women, preventing breast cancer and all of that. Don't quote me on this, it's just something that I've heard. So I'm choosing organic wines for this evening anyway. Okay, should we have a chit chat? I'm going to chit chat about what I got from Harvey Nichols. I'm going to talk about the Balmoral. I'm going to answer your questions about the one. I'm going to talk about some of the courses that we had at the #1, which is the restaurant that's attached to the Balmoral. And of course I am going to touch on Puresonfleek again. I know it's boring, everybody's sick and tired of hearing about it, but you know, we're here, we're having a chit chat. I've been asked things about it, so apparently, she has. I've watched it because I'm still subscribed to her. So I was really surprised when a video popped up that she's responded to the comments on her first video, which by the way she turned off, and in her response she explains why she turned the comments off. Okay, I have watched it. I don't think I watched it to the end. So she's excusing all the things that she said in her first video. First of all, let me tell you what I think of Puresonfleek. I think her name's Mel. Remember, this is just me as a viewer looking at her. She comes off as quite aggressive. She seems quite domineering. She seems quite aggressive in her attitude when she's speaking, but that's just my take on looking at her. That's what I see. So and the reason I'm pointing that out is now because she speaks about speaking to the SA and the SA feeling intimidated. This is what the implication is, because the SA doesn't want to work with her anymore, and she's making people feel intimidated by her. And I think it's the way, I think it's all to do with her attitude, because that's what she's giving off on camera. That's the way I see it. She's not a warm personality. Now the other thing is, I actually watched her first video as soon as she uploaded it. Okay, now she says she stopped the comments because they were sharing her address, blah 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 things. You know, she was giving her reasons as to why she stopped the comments. You know, it wasn't just the viewers, the people that were commenting, that were being aggressive in the comments, rude. She was too. There's controversy as to why she switched off her comments. Stop being such a spoiled child. You know, you never got the bag. Big deal, move on. Honestly, I certainly wouldn't want to be dealing with a company that's making me feel as if I need to beg for a bag. It's not going to happen. I would never do that. And all this stress for a bag. Yeah, I get it, you know, for you, you know, it's, I don't know, it's important to you, but really, Really? Is a bag that important? Okay, that's just my opinion, and I've just dropped an earring. Hold on, I'll be right back, because I'm not going to sit here and film with one earring in my ear. It's a chit chat video. Cheers. I have watched the odd video on her about Hermes. She has done some really good videos about Hermes leathers and things like that. Very informative videos, and I've only watched them. But I did subscribe to her. Anyway, when Puresonfleek uploaded her first video, I was intrigued. I was cleaning the sitting room at the time, and I put it on and I started listening to it. And I've spoken about that first video, and my first thoughts were, I was kind of worried for her, if I had to be honest. But I was listening to the video. Anyway, I've spoken about that video in another video, and basically my thoughts on that video were, get a grip, it's a bag. Get a grip. I was disgusted at all the emailing and the quoting of how much she had spent and blah blah blah, and that was my basic thoughts on the first video. But you know, at the end of the day, who am I to judge? You know, when you want something desperately, you get really quite obsessive over the item. You know, I was going to say we've all been there, but I don't know if I've ever been that obsessed. No, I don't think I have. I'm very much of the mind of, if something's meant for you, it's meant for you, and you're going to have it. So I'm going to disagree with myself there. I don't think I've ever got so obsessed over anything, especially things. Never. No, I can honestly say that, hand on heart, I can honestly say I've never become that obsessed, and she really did become obsessed, and I think that's her problem. She's quite obsessed with Hermes. You know, some people describe it as she has a real love and a real passion for it. I would say she has an obsession with it. But in the same way, you know, if you're obsessed with a brand, would you buy the items and resell them? Would you buy the boxes and resell them because they create dust? Come on. Everything creates dust. This is what she said in her response video. This is the reason she gave as to why she was selling the boxes. You sell the boxes because you're going to get money for the boxes. Come on. You know, when I've said this before, when we put ourselves out here, we have to take the good with the bad. When we put out a video with opinions, like this video, then we should respect other people's opinions. Now, I have some derogatory comments, normally about my Lily, and I answer them. I just answer them. I don't need to use the F word, and I don't need to use the C word. I kind of like the F word amongst friends. I would never dream of using words like that in my comments. Absolutely not. She makes you feel as if she's lecturing you. Even when she's telling you about other things, you get the feeling she's lecturing. I don't need anybody to lecture me, okay? So I think she needs to work on her manner, and maybe this is why the essay felt intimidated by her. You know, her persona, her manner, her personality maybe needs to kind of just calm down a little. Again, this is just my opinion. You know, none of us can love everybody, and I'm sure a lot of people have an opinion on my personality, and you're entitled to that. You know, so this is my opinion looking at Puresonfleek. Quite an aggressive attitude, you know, spoiled child syndrome. You know, it's almost like, I'm saying spoiled, but it's almost like when your partner, you know, if your partner does the dirty with you and goes off with another woman, this is her reaction. I'm gonna get you back. You know, you've gone off with her, you've given her the bag, you didn't give me the bag, you're gonna pay for this, this is what I'm gonna do. It's almost that scenario. I'll show you, blah blah blah, I'll make a video and I'm gonna tell the world about you, which, by the way, she's entitled to do. We've only had one side of it. Remember what I always say, when you only hear the one side, remember, there's always two sides. And there's always one side. So we have Puresonfleek. We don't know Hermes's side. We have no idea. Somewhere in the middle lies the truth. Is this not what I always tell you all? It's exactly what I tell you all. Problem is, we're only hearing the one side here. You know, why would a manager feel he needs to block her for no apparent reason? She says she didn't know him, but he blocked her. Why? Come on. Things just are not adding up here. The poor SA felt intimidated. You know, they didn't, at the end of the day, they didn't say to her, you cannot come back here and shop. No. They said, you need a different SA. That's all. You know, the essay doesn't want to work with you. She keeps saying about this essay, it's not her fault, blah, blah, blah. The essay has obviously said, I'm feeling intimidated. You know, I'm feeling like I have to give her a bag. You know? Anyway, I think enough is said about Puresonfleek. That's just me as a viewer watching her. I feel she feels very entitled to a bag. I feel like I have spent so much money, I'm going to get the bag, you know. Personally, you know, if a company's making me feel like that, come on, you know, come on, move on. You know, I've said to you before, there's, you know, this Sally Sparkle that I follow on Instagram. If you don't follow Sally Sparkle, you need to follow Sally Sparkle. She had no history with Hermes at all. She just simply walked in, said she wanted the bag. This is in London, by the way. And she was on the list, and within a year she got a bag. And in between that, she had turned down a couple of bags as well. So, you know, we hear so many stories of you need to do this and jump through hoops and fly to Paris, and really, and the journeys, and I'm really sick and tired of hearing about it. So anyway, that's all I'm saying about Puresonfleek. And I know I'm probably going to use Puresonfleek in the title because, listen, it gets people to click. It does. In the same way when I use Sophie Showhead's name, people click. That's why it's called clickbait. But anyway, that was going to be a quick chat, so we all know. Right, let's get on to what should we talk about. Okay, I want to quickly tell you about this lipstick here. I'm sure I did a review on this Chanel lipstick here, and this is called the Light Mauve. So this is the one where it's the colour on the one end and you get the gloss on the other end. And I said, I wasn't overly excited by it. Well, I wore this when we went to the Balmoral, and I put it on first thing in the morning. I did my makeup first thing in the morning, and I put it on because I knew it had good staying power and it wasn't going to rub off because I was going to be wearing a mask a lot of the time travelling into Edinburgh. This thing did not budge. I don't know what it was. I don't know if I just let it dry really well, but you know, I had coffees and drank things and blah blah blah. This was on until I got to the Balmoral, and I put it on first thing in the morning. So honestly, I've changed my mind about this. Really quite impressed with it. So you apply that. Some say you need to leave it dry and then put the gloss on and whatever, but I don't know. Some say you don't need to let it dry. But yeah, I'm now giving this the thumbs up because it did not budge, it did not smudge, it did not end up all over my glass, blah blah blah. I actually had to take it off when I was going to redo my makeup for the evening meal, so I just wanted to do an update on that because I don't think I reviewed it very well. You see, we can always change our mind. Secondly, in not the last vlog, because the last vlog was the barrel, but in the vlog before that I did a little haul of things that I bought. One of the things was this Barry M nail varnish. That's what I have on just now. Love it, absolutely love it. So this is the High Vis Neon Nail Paint by Barry M. Love it, absolutely love it. But you need about 3 coats of it to get that colour. It's quite transparent, translucent, what's the word, you know, you need about 3 coats to get that. But what I didn't know was, until after I put it on, was that at the back it says apply over a white base for an even brighter finish. So I don't know if that's why I needed about 3 coats to get that. So, and Barry M nail varnishes are really quite cheap. Okay, so that's that. As we're on makeup, I'm going to tell you exactly what I have on my lips. So on my lips I have the MAC in the colour In Anticipation as a lip liner. And my lipstick is Bare Minerals and it is in the colour Rebound. This is definitely going to be in my empties. Yay! Don't often have lipsticks in my empties, but it looks like this is going to be in my empties. Okay, that's that done. Before we get on to the Balmoral, I'm going to show you what I bought when I went through to Edinburgh. So I went into Harvey Nichols with the intention to get my, what's it called, Eau de Soleil Blanc Parfum. That was my intention. Remember I already said that in one of my vlogs? Well, just before I went in, I had seen Miss Frankencat uploaded a video on these little handbag perfumes from Tom Ford, and I'm like, ooh, so that is really lovely. So I went into Harvey Nichols, and what I decided to do, instead of buying just the one perfume, the Soleil Blanc, Tom Ford Soleil Blanc, I decided to buy Soleil Blanc in the handbag size. And I wanted the Tobacco Vanille, which is my winter perfume. Well, I say my winter perfume, but I actually wore this at the Balmoral because it's really one of my favourite perfumes. So instead of buying the one, which let me tell you, the Tom Ford perfumes are a lot of money, I decided to buy these little handbag ones. So I got the Tobacco Vanille, and they didn't have the Soleil Blanc. But she said to me that they had this new one here. Oh, it's really lovely, by the way. It's really lovely. This is described as Sun on the Snow. And you know the Soleil Blanc has the kind of gold, the white on the gold. This is the white on the silver. And I don't know how, I think it is Soleil Niche. It's N-E-I-G-E. Let me see if we can get it to focus right there. There we go. It really is a lovely scent. I absolutely love it, and I love the staying power. It's like got that magnetic closure. It's 10 mils, and I think these were about £44 each. It depends on the perfume which one you get, but I think these were 44. So I would get quite a selection of these, by the way. I mean, absolutely, that is really lovely. Oh, really like that. So that's what I got, and she also gave me some samples. So she gave me a Soleil Blanc sample and she gave me the Tom Ford Black Orchid. I don't think I'm actually a fan of Black Orchid. Let me remind myself. It's actually not bad. I kind of remember sniffing it before a long time ago when it was very in. I'm thinking I'm not a fan of it, but it's okay. My daughter-in-law Kelly went, oh, when she was pregnant, she could not stand the smell of that. That's actually not bad. I don't know why I thought I disliked it. I don't like it. There isn't a lot of Tom Ford perfumes that I don't like. Okay, so that's what I bought from Harvey Nichols. Love going into Harvey Nichols. Right, let me talk about my experience at the Balmoral. Going through to Edinburgh now, through these COVID times. Initially I was really quite anxious at getting onto a train, because I really haven't been on public transport since this pandemic started, and you all know I've had my anxiety to deal with, and I'm been one of those paranoid people with sanitizing and all of that. In fact, I had like the Dettol spray with me, and my friend Andri, she had a smaller one, so we tended to use hers because it was easier to use. So we were spraying down the seats on the train before we sat down in the areas that we would be in. We were spraying everything down. I mean, we didn't see anybody on the trains cleaning things down, spraying things down, or anything like that. We didn't see any extra efforts. The only thing, when we were travelling on our first train, there was a bit of the cabin, is that what it's called? The cabin, I think, is that what it's called? Anyway, where we were sitting, sectioned off, and the ticket master was coming by, and then I said to her, why have you sectioned that bit off? She was, oh, that's for me because I have to keep 2 meters away. Honestly, a lot of these rules, you know, she's walking through all the carriages. The carriage, that's the word I was looking for, the carriage. So she's walking through and she's checking people's tickets, and people are paying her, so she's closer than 2 meters. But then when she went and sat down, she sat in this section that was sectioned off, like with the tape and all that, because she needed to be 2 meters away. Honestly, really doesn't make sense. We got into Glasgow and we got our second train, and again we sprayed everything down. Got into the Balmoral. Now, we've stayed at the Balmoral before, and there didn't seem to be any difference this time to any other time. And what I mean by that is, I didn't see people going about wiping surfaces down, or I couldn't see, I don't know if they were doing it behind the scenes, but personally I couldn't see any extra effort. The place is a clean place anyway, you know, it's a 5-star hotel, but I couldn't see any extra effort, any extra measures being put in, apart from signs on the left saying, you know, only members of the same family could get in the lift, otherwise it would be one person at a time in the lift. All the bars and the restaurants would close at 10 p.m, which really and honestly does not make any sense at all. You're staying in that hotel, you're in that hotel, you have dined in that hotel. You know, really, residents of the hotel should be allowed to dine longer, or get away from that perfume, or, you know, the bar areas should be open for residents. It doesn't really make any sense why, you know, the bars and the restaurants have to close down at 10 p.m. So that was a difference because of COVID. Going into the room, there was a sticker on the door which I showed in my vlog, but other than that, when we walked into the room, there was no other difference in that room. You know, for example, the control box of the TV or the remote control didn't have cellophane over it. Nothing was sealed, you know, which I was probably half expected. Everything was clean, but nothing was sealed. The other thing is, I need to change my battery. I'll be back. Okay, I'm back. So the other thing is, when we got into the lifts, you could see the fingerprints on where the buttons had been. You could see marks on the mirrors. So that told me that somebody wasn't constantly cleaning. I don't remember, I'm a clean freak. So, you know, I see all these things. And my friend Andri that we were with, she's as bad. Let me tell you, she's as bad as me. So, in fact, let me read you. I asked us to look, I'm going to do a chit chat video. Is there anything you want to add? So this is what she messaged me. So this was Andri's message to me. She said, nothing the Balmoral could improve. Maybe lifts shined up. The staff, the location, the atmosphere, no other hotel matches it. And then she goes on to talk about how they enjoyed the food, or at least her husband enjoyed the food, and blah blah blah. Basically, that was her take on the hotel. So, you know, it is luxury. You know, the Balmoral is a very luxurious hotel. They make you feel extremely comfortable. Like Anne-Marie said, the staff are second to none. You know, in the number one, you're made to feel very, very comfortable, but very luxurious. I'm gonna talk about another thing there. And I remembered there, whilst we were in the number one, I had my bag sitting behind me. I didn't want to put it on the floor. There was nothing I could really hang it onto, like the arm of the chair or anything. So I kind of sat it behind me, and it kept sliding off. It kind of slid off, and the waiter, was it the waiter or the waitress? I can't remember. Came up and said, your bags, I think it was the waiter, your bag's fallen, blah blah. I says, oh thank you. I picked it up, blah blah blah. Fell again. The waitress thing came up. She says, oh, the bag's, and I think it fell a third time. I says, look. I says, look, you should really have a seat for my bag here. Something for my bag. You know, when we dine at Ramsay's, you're actually given a stool for your bag. Not a problem, madam. And they brought a stool for my bag. That's how accommodating, you know, they were. So I requested it. It wasn't a problem. Nothing is a problem. You're made to feel very comfortable. It is absolutely 5-star treatment. The room, if you just by any chance haven't seen the vlog, I'm going to link the vlog below. It was beautiful. We were upgraded. When we arrived, we got upgraded and we had this beautiful view of the castle, but the room wasn't quite ready. So we were told our rooms would be ready for 3 o'clock. So we just went out and walked round. We went into Harvey Nichols. We tried to go into Louis Vuitton, but Louis Vuitton was only by appointment. I'll get onto Louis Vuitton anyway, so we couldn't get into Louis Vuitton. So by the time we come back, they said they were going to text us and let us know when our room was ready. Our friend's room was ready. So the room should have been ready by 3 o'clock. We were told when we were upgraded that our room wasn't quite ready, but again, it took longer than I suppose they thought. Maybe it's with all this extra COVID preparation, I don't know. But we decided to go for drinks within the Balmoral as the room wasn't ready. You know, it's not a big deal. We were there to enjoy ourselves, to relax. You know, we weren't desperate to go and sit in the bedroom. So we were then told that our drinks, the first round of our drinks would be complimentary because our room wasn't ready. So again, fabulous treatment, and you know, just made it all the better for us. You know, we weren't really bothered, but it, you know, it made you go, well, okay, that was good. And yeah, so that was it. So like I showed, beautiful room, beautiful view. Louis Vuitton, we tried to book online because we were told we had to book online, but we were also told that, you know, certain hours in the morning weren't too busy. We tried to book, we couldn't book to go into Louis Vuitton. I wasn't really looking for anything. We all know what I'm like, you know. I don't just buy for the sake of buying. I wasn't really looking to buy anything. I wasn't really interested in buying anything. But anyway, we arrived at Louis Vuitton with no appointment, but we were immediately acknowledged. They said to us, oh, you tried, we know you tried to come in last night, blah blah blah. We were told to sanitize, we were told to have a seat, and somebody would say to us. Anyway, one of the sales assistants came over and she said, feel free to have a look round. If there's anything you're interested in, then I can't remember the sales assistant, but she, you know, the sales assistant here will help you. And Anne-Marie had seen a Louis Vuitton bracelet that she was interested in. Very helpful, you know, weren't made to feel rushed, weren't made to feel that we weren't allowed to try anything on. You know, very, just lovely. They were really, really lovely in Louis Vuitton Edinburgh. So she decided on the bracelet and she got the bracelet. So Anne-Marie got the bracelet. Unfortunately, I don't have a picture of it to show you. I got, by this time, I kind of got vlogged out, which is another thing, you know, going back onto not vlogging the whole of the meal. We were there with friends and we were just enjoying our time. And when you're enjoying yourself, the last thing you kind of think about is to take a picture of your food. You know, I know it seems really easy. It's quite hard to remember to keep getting the camera out, and you don't want to keep shoving the camera in people's faces all the time. This was as much their experience as ours, and it's okay for me to shove the camera in my face and Rico's face because we're used to it. I'm used to it. You know, and Rico's used to having the camera shoved in his face. But, you know, and although, you know, they never ever made me feel uncomfortable about bringing the camera out, I was actually having too much of a good time to remember to film everything. Even the staff, if you had seen in the #1, they were quite happy when I had the camera out. One of the waiters, you'll see him, actually waved at the camera. They were more than happy for me to vlog within the #1. I was never ever felt uncomfortable at bringing my camera out. But, you know, I'm very aware of my surroundings. I'm very aware of other people when I'm bringing the camera out. So, you know, so that's why, you know, I tried to vlog as much as I thought it was fair to vlog. Both for you to kind of get an idea of the place and, you know, in respect of other people as well. So that's why I didn't kind of vlog a great deal. I tried to share as much as I could. And like I said, when you're enjoying yourself, you forget to take pictures. I was desperate to get into my food and I've got, oh, I'd bite into it, sometimes finishing, oh, I forgot to go, did you take a picture of that, Rico? And you'd go, no, I didn't take a picture of it. But I'll try and insert some pictures now. Okay, before we get on to the menu, I just want to answer some specific questions that Silver Sparkles had. So she asked, how did you all enjoy the menu? Right, okay, so we all enjoyed it. Now, this was the first time for our friends to experience fine dining. Anne-Marie is a very, very plain eater. Now, we all knew this before we booked it, but she wanted to experience it. So it was very different for Anne-Marie because the flavours, although you're getting very small portions, you know, the flavours really do come through. So it was very different for Anne-Marie. Her husband thoroughly enjoyed it, I think Anne-Marie enjoyed the experience. She did enjoy the experience, but for somebody that's a plain eater, it's an experience. So yeah, we're all very used to fine dining, so we enjoyed it and we knew what to expect. And then she asked me if I'd visited LV on the Sunday, so I've already gone over that. And then she asked me what I thought of the St James's Quarter. Now that's a new shopping centre that's opened up in Edinburgh. We didn't visit it. We honestly didn't have the time. It was literally an overnight. It was really a quick visit and we really didn't have the time. But when I next visit Edinburgh, you might be there before but I'll certainly make a point of visiting the new St James's Quarter. So we didn't visit it. And then she asked about the flooding, because Edinburgh had severe flooding. It was okay when we arrived, but the essay in Louis Vuitton, she was saying she was driving when the horrendous rainfall started and she literally had to pull over because she could not see a thing. But yeah, they had severe flooding, but it all seemed okay once we arrived. I mean, we couldn't see any telltale signs of it at all. And then she also says, Rico, you didn't seem your usual jovial self. You know, he was. Maybe it was just what I edited out and what I left in. It was just... No, Rico was fine. Rico absolutely loved it. It just, sometimes it's down to the editing. Maybe I just cut Rico out a lot. It was a very quick experience. So, yeah, it was all very fast. It was, yeah, I know Rico thoroughly enjoyed it. We all thoroughly enjoyed it. It was very quick. It all happened very quick, but very enjoyable. So thank you, Silver Sparkles, for your questions. Right, let's get on to the menu now. So there you go, that was our menu. I hope you enjoyed having a little glance of it. Highly recommend Edinburgh, highly recommend the Balmoral, highly recommend the #1. Anyway, if you would like to see more videos from me, I'm going to link one here, and if you're not already subscribed, just press the A right here because I do a variety of videos. Cheers, and I'll catch you next time. Bye! Highly recommend the Prosecco from Aldi too.